Many people think financial freedom is about making more money, but that's just 20% of the entire equation. The other 80% is about habits and behavior, how you manage money, how you save money, how you invest, and how you spend. If you don't control your money, it will control you. And that's why I created the strategic financial rules, a 9 pocket money framework, a simple step by step but systematic approach to take control of your finances, build wealth, and achieve true financial freedom. Let me break it down. First one there is S in the strategic framework. The first S there is save and secure. Now, I need you to understand that whatever you save in the day of plenty would keep you safe in the day of scarcity. Whatever you save in the day of plenty would keep you safe in the day of scarcity. I have the framework rule that says you should save 35%, at least 35% of your income, whether your monthly income or your annual income. Ensure that you are saving at least 35%. And that 35% is broken down as follows. The first one there is that you allocate about 15% going into investments. 15% goes into investment. The next 10% goes into your emergency fund. Emergency fund is described as what you require in the day of emergency. You need to have at least 6 months of your monthly living expenses saved somewhere in case there are emergencies, in case you lose your job or something happens or life happens to you. You need to have a certain amount of money saved somewhere. And that savings you're making, you're allocating at least 10% to that purse every month. I always recommend that I personally don't save in the bank. Rather, I would save in some kind of mutual funds that is very liquid and also generates, some amount of returns every now and then. Then the last 10% should go to your lifestyle or maybe save future or self-development. See savings as the price you're paying for your financial freedom rather than deprivation. See savings as the price being paid for your financial freedom rather than deprivation. I mean, it's understandable. Human beings are wired for immediate gratification. That's why many people see savings as a very difficult thing. In fact, some see it as punishment. But when you perceive it in a different way, you are saying it as, oh, this is my way of buying my freedom rather than deprivation. The next is T for track and take control. From the strategic framework, the next is T to track and take control of your expenses. If you don't tell your money where to go, you will always wonder where your money went. If you don't tell your money where to go, you will always wonder where it went. You want to cultivate the habit of having a budget for every expenditure. Make sure you have a budget that helps you track your expenses at the end of the day, and you are able to account for every kobo and every penny that goes out of your purse. This helps you to be in control of your finances. If you are one of those that actually have these emotional urges when it comes to spending, this habit of having a spreadsheet or a budget also helps you to address that. Even, I've suggested to some people that rather than having the debit card, you can make sure you can use the cash approach, such that every time you're going to the market, you only go with the cash to the tune of what you want to spend, and that helps you, to be in control of your spending. The next one is R from the strategic financial rule. We have R that means reduce and remove debts. You want to avoid debt like a plague, except for good debts that contributes to your future and to your wealth. You want to live a debt-free life, to avoid anything that brings psychological and emotional stress into your life. If you must take on debts, ensure it builds your wealth. For example, take loans that you can use to finance income generating assets, mortgage, education loans, anything that can actually improve your financial status or your ability to earn more income. Those are the kind of loans that we consider as good debts or good borrowings. But ultimately, as much as possible, you want to cultivate the habit and the mindset of zero tolerance for debt. The next is automate and allocate your savings and investments. You see, wealth is built systematically, not accidentally. Wealth is a process that is built systematically and not accidentally. You need to ensure that all of your savings and investments are automated in order for you to build that consistency and to be disciplined to ensure that there are no misses at all. You need to systematize and automate all of your savings. Another approach to automating your investments and savings, investment particularly now, is to reinvest all your investment returns, all your dividends, your interest, your coupons. You are given an instruction or you are subscribing to programs like DRPs called dividend reinvestment programs, where you are given an instruction that all your dividends should be rolled back into your portfolio. You know what this helps you to do is that it helps you to achieve compounding growth and also stay consistent. The next in the 9 pocket money framework is to have a targeted living expenses. This involves having a threshold for your living expenses. So you want to limit your living expenses to just 50% of your total income. So for a family, your living expenses must not exceed 50% of your household income. For example, if you earn 100,000, your living expenses should not be more than 50,000, including your rent. So basically, living expenses is everything that keeps you going, including rent. So all of your expenses, to survive must not be more than 50% of your total income. The next pocket is E, which is to expand your income stream. One source of income is too close to zero. This is like walking on eggshell and living dangerously. Any trip at all can cause you to fall, and that can lead to financial instability and struggle, which is why you must strive for multiple sources of income. With these pockets, you want to aim for multiple streams of income and passive income opportunities, by expanding your total annual income by at least 15%. And some of the ways you can do this is to look for different opportunities, different businesses that you can venture into, different side ventures, rather than living on that one source of income, which is very risky and can easily lead to financial instability. The next pocket is G, which is to grow your investment portfolio. Now, you want to make sure that your money is not only working for you, but your money is working harder, very hard for you, right? So we are moving away from you just working for money, but building that mindset of your money working for you and working very hard for you. So I have a benchmark, a target to say that at least every year, ensure that your investment portfolio grows by at least 50 to 100% every year. Now, I'm talking only about your financial assets. For the real assets, is almost unreasonable. I mean, it's possible if you can, but at least for the financial assets, for those financial instruments, your equities, your bonds, your money market funds, and the likes, try to set a goal where you want to achieve at least 50% growth on your portfolio every year. And you can do this by constantly tracking. So at the end of the year, you check what your total portfolio is. And then as you go through the year, you are making sure that you have your eye on that goal. And some of the ways you can do this by, adding more capital, to injecting more capital into that portfolio. You can also do that by reinvesting your dividends, your returns, your coupons, which we spoke about earlier. And then also, if you're very fortunate and you're very smart with your investments, you would realize some capital gains. So you can also roll over those gains, and that way, your portfolio would definitely grow from what it was to what you are aiming to achieve. The next pocket is I, which is to integrate financial discipline into your financial lifestyle. You want to integrate discipline into your journey. Now, every year, some of us we get these salary raises or inflationary adjustments, we get bonuses and things like that. So, for you, you want to make sure that you are not just spending, you are converting this to investments. You also try to prevent lifestyle inflation. You know, you don't want to keep up with the Joneses, that every time you get a raise, a merit increase at work, a salary increase, bonus or something, the next thing you want to do is to let your expense or your lifestyle catch up with that income. No, that doesn't make sense. What you should do instead is to maintain that lifestyle, maintain your living expenses, and see those increases, those raises, those bonus as an upside, which can be injected into your investment vehicles, your portfolio in order to grow them. Okay, so you want to continue to spend less while you earn more, and make sure that you are not falling into the trap of the Parkinson law of money that says that our expenses will always grow to catch up with our income. The last pocket is C, which is continuous improvement. Now, what you know determines how far you go. Your future, your financial future, is determined by the decisions you take today. So, financial success or financial freedom or financial independence, whatever your goal may be, is not about luck, and it can be as easy as you want it to be. It all depends on your strategy, it all depends on your habits, your behavior, it all depends on what you're actually doing today. So, if you like this video, please do like, comment, share so that it can be a blessing to more people. Thank you and see you in my next video. God bless you.
Reaching goals with purpose, peace of mind.